Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the One in a Million channel. My name is Eunice Chan, and I'm so pleased to have you guys here. Today, we are talking about, oh my gosh, it's such an amazing topic. We're talking about bad habits. Something that's really sticky, something that feels really, really hard to break. But once you break it, you literally find yourself again. My intention is to help you find your power, to help you find liberation, to really help you feel like yourself again. Because I realize whenever we are held captive by our bad habits, a lot of times it feels as though we're a slave to it. It feels as though we're really helpless. And so I'm going to be sharing with you 3 practical steps to help you dissolve, to help you crack them, to help you break free from all these habits altogether, once and for all. No relapses, no coming back. And I believe that this is probably one of the most empowering things that you can do for yourself, right? What have you got to lose? What have you got to lose? So the reason why I created this video was because of how difficult of a time I had overcoming my bad habits. And it was really, really difficult until I made sense of why it was so hard. Until I started cracking the emotional code of what I was tied and chained to. And once I opened up that conversation with myself, it was like, oh my gosh, I can actually see what's inside. And it's ridiculous how easy it can be to just walk straight through it and overcome it and never look back again. The other thing that I discovered was just how easy and simple it was. So I'm going to talk to you about why some people make it so hard for themselves and how you can slash multiple bad habits. You don't just have to focus on one single bad habit. You can slash multiple bad habits together. And the reason for that is because they all share the same foundational emotion at the core, at the base of where all this emotional chaos is happening. They all share the same foundation. So when you address the foundation, nothing can have a grip on you anymore. So stick with me if you are someone who's oh my gosh, Eunice, I've been working on this for so long already, and I'm just ready to put my bad habits behind me. I'm ready to reinvent myself as a person. I'm ready to really get to know myself, and I'm ready to crack the code that controls it all. I want freedom. I want freedom. This video is going to be for you. So why are bad habits so darn difficult to break? Why are they so freaking sticky? I found that bad habits are sticky because of our relationship that we have built with them. We are so used to seeing bad habits in a way that is difficult, that's hard to break, it takes a long time to break, that takes many days, right, to overcome a bad habit, that we have built this concept in our mind that it's going to be really difficult to overcome. How many times have you heard that bad habits are hard to break? So many, more times than you can count. And so we have built this paradigm of a tug of war between us and bad habit, this bad habit figure over here. And a lot of times it's either I win or the bad habits win, or I win or bad habits win. And most of the time, habits will win because we're functioning on autopilot. And also, the subconscious mind, the automatic subconscious mind knows how to go for the same feeling over and over and over again. So if my entire life I feel bad about myself, I don't feel proud of myself, I feel ashamed of myself, I feel like I'm a terrible person, I feel like I'm not accountable because there's this one simple habit and I can't even overcome it myself. Who am I even? Then I feel so bad about myself. How can I expect to feel any differently if I've been talking to myself the same way for the past 20 years, for the past 30 years, for the past 10 years, for the past 40 years, for the past 50 years? How can I expect to feel any different if I have made myself feel bad about this one thing for my whole life. And my body is intelligent. It's going to keep producing and go for the same feeling over and over and over again to continue this habit of feeling bad, to continue this addiction of feeling bad until I decide, like my executive mind decides that stop, no more, that's it. I'm done feeling bad about myself. It's not even I'm done taking this action. It's like I'm just done feeling bad about myself. I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel proud about myself, right? And so every time when you fail yourself, every time when you disappoint yourself and you say, oh, you know what, like if I don't decide this one time, I'm going to decide differently next time. It's like trying to tell yourself not to skip the gym, but then every single time when the time comes to go to the gym, you're like, oh, I'm just going to go later. And you know that it's a bad habit. You know that you've been pushing it off. You know that you've been procrastinating. You know that you've been giving yourself excuses. But at the same time, it's like, well, when the time comes, it's just not convenient. But like, you know also at the same time that like procrastination is a big thing for you. Every single time you make an excuse, you temporarily mask the pain that you are feeling. You mask the feeling of disappointment. You mask the feeling of like just self-deprecation. Like, ugh, you're so terrible. How couldn't you even get this simple thing right? Why can't you just decide for this one time? But do you actually feel better? Like every single time you tell yourself, oh, I'll just do it later. Oh, it's okay. You're masking the feeling of the self-deprecation. Every single time you tell yourself later, next time. It's never now, right? That's why it never changes. You don't actually feel better. You just temporarily push away the pain. Instead of actually confronting, you know what? I've disappointed myself for long enough. I know that it hurts a lot to think about it. It hurts a lot to even feel how much I've disappointed myself. And I'm actually going to handle this. I'm going to deal with this. Well, that hurts a lot to say it. So most people, what do? They just push it away. It's like, I don't have time for this right now. I just got to get on with my life. I'll deal with this later. Every single time we give our power into a bad habit, it's almost like it takes our power away. We forego the opportunity at any given moment to learn the lesson. We forego the opportunity to reach for our higher power, our highest power. And when that happens, we run away from the lesson, we run away from responsibilities, we run away from what it is that we need. But deep down, your power wants to show you how much more you can become. Deep down, you feel an extreme sense of discomfort, extreme sense of pain for abandoning yourself every single time when the time comes to rescuing yourself, for saving yourself. Your power wants to show you that it's there. Your power wants to show you that it is ready to shine for you. It is ready to show you the way, to show you what you can do, to show you the person that you can become. And if you're watching this video and you're listening to what I'm saying with your heart, I really want you to know that your bad habits are not here to tell you how shameful you deserve to be. It's not here to tell you how unworthy you are as a person. It's not here to count your sins. It's not here to make you feel bad or feel little as a person. It's not here to do that. Your habits has a purpose. It is an invitation for you to walk the path of self-love. To go back to the path, to return to loving yourself, to taking care of yourself, to becoming proud of yourself, so that you can actually become the more empowered version of yourself the next time when it comes to making this decision. It's time to learn how I can give this love back to myself, to make decisions that I would actually be proud of. I know a lot of people, when it comes to like changing bad habits or like learning about changing bad habits, they tend to just replace the habit with something else. Just replace it. But I'm going to tell you, it probably works once, it works twice, but it doesn't work forever. This process is not just about getting over to the other side. It's not just about clicking your fingers and make it be easy. This is about learning to make a different choice when the time comes to making that decision. So the moment you have to make that decision becomes really important. It becomes really critical. The moment where you make it. It's like it doesn't change until the moment where you're presented with the choice again, and then you being the person who makes a different choice as a more empowered person. And then from that moment onwards, the habit changes. It's like the moment you make that different decision, you then take on a different path of your identity. So it's not just about being here and then skipping over to the other side without becoming this person at all. It's about you embodying the qualities of the person that would have changed, the thinking, the feeling, the being of that person. Now, the problem is a lot of times people try to change without wanting to change inside of themselves. So if I feel the same way, if I feel exactly the same way as I do about my bad habits, and I feel terrible about them, and I feel terrible about myself, and I don't change a way that I feel about it, what makes you think that I'm going to change my decisions when it comes to the time where I make them? I'm not going to change because I feel terrible about myself. The reason why it's so hard to break them is because we've created a lot of resistance. And this is primarily how we feel about our bad habits. We feel really tied to them. We feel really powerless to them. We feel helpless when it comes to thinking about our bad habits. We feel like, why can't we just overcome this one small thing? Like, oh, it's so easy. Why couldn't you just do it? You're so worthless. You're so useless. Like all of this resistance that we have created in our heads, this emotional resistance, makes it so hard to break. And what do people try to do? They try to willpower themselves through. It's like if I could just willpower my way through in the moment where I make that decision, then my bad habits are going to dissolve. It's going to disappear. But what tends to happen at that time is you end up burning a lot of energy. A lot of energy. When you only use your willpower and you force yourself through and you push yourself through, ignoring all the emotional signals, I'm ignoring what I'm feeling on the inside, I just push myself through, you burn a lot of energy. So it's not just about replacing it with something else, just like giving yourself another habit and be like, take this. I've faked myself into changing my bad habits. It's not about that. Because underlying all of that, you still have the same emotions running rampant inside of you. You still have the same foundational feelings. You still feel bad about yourself. Now you're just replacing your bad habits with something else, without changing how you feel, right? You're not changing. Your feelings are not changing. The person who's taking action is not changing. So what makes you think that it's not going to come back? So I came up with a theory. I figured that if willpowering my way through and fighting and pushing my way through is not going to work, I figured that the only way for me to change my bad habits and eliminate them is if I felt differently about it. And I felt differently about myself. So I decided that I was going to feel bigger and I'm going to make my bad habits feel smaller so that I become more powerful, and simultaneously I dissolve the power that my bad habits have over me. right? So essentially what I'm doing is I'm raising in my power, I'm seeing myself as a bigger person, I feel better about myself, and I'm taking away the feeling that my bad habits have over me. So I stop feeling as bad, I stop feeling not enough about myself, I stop letting my bad habits define me as a person, and I don't fight against it. Because when I do, all I do is just lose my energy, I lose my willpower, I feel bad about myself, and that's not what I want. So here's exactly what I did. So I promised you the 3 steps to break your bad habits. Now, here are the 3 steps. Step number 1 is that I became proud of myself. And I realized this is actually a really essential step to like starting this chain effect. It's kind of like a domino. And the first domino has to come from you changing the perception of yourself. The reason why the perception of yourself is so different is because all along, as you have built your relationship with your bad habits, you have been reinforced this identity of feeling powerless, feeling useless, feeling hopeless, feeling helpless, feeling worthless, right? And over time, it erodes on your self-esteem, erodes on your self-worth. So over time, you start believing that, oh, I'm not worthy, I'm not proud of myself, I'm always just ashamed of who I am. Even if I try something, like, nothing's going to happen, like, because my efforts are worth nothing. So the first step, the first piece of the domino that you need to knock right over is to learn to be proud of yourself. Even if you have not overcome your bad habits already, you can start to learn to practice feeling proud of yourself. And how do you do that? So you'll sit down, close your eyes, and visualize yourself feeling so proud of yourself, having overcome it in the moment that you overcome it, in the moment you choose something else. In the moment you choose to believe in your own power, in the moment you choose to have a better future, and in that moment you feel proud of yourself, that you have chosen differently. And you can imagine all sorts of different feelings as well that are associated to choosing something differently. You can imagine yourself feeling really liberated, like, oh, finally, finally I chose something different. You could experience that. You could feel that. You could feel a sense of liberation, like a sense of freedom, like, you've got nothing over me anymore, right? You could even like visualize yourself like closing like, let's say, you know, you're addicted to scrolling on apps or something. That's probably one of your bad habits. You can visualize yourself closing it, sliding the notifications away, turning off the notifications. Visualize yourself doing that, and then actually do that. And then step number 2 is diminish your bad habit. Now, how do you do that? Instead of despising your bad habit, instead of like telling yourself how bad the habit is, what you do is diminish, relinquish any emotions that you have had about your bad habits. Indifference. This is really, really good. Now, when I tell you, when you feel indifferent about something, you don't have to fight about it anymore. You don't have to resist it anymore, right? There's no more resistance created between you and the bad habits. It's like, you're not a thing to me. It's just this sense of contempt, this feeling of indifference. Like, you're nothing to me. I don't even see you. I don't even have to fight you. I will waste none of my energy thinking about you. No resistance. It's not like, I need to not think about this. I need to control my thoughts. It's like, no, whatever. Meh. You know? So there's this feeling of like just this release. You're no longer being controlled by this resistance. There's just no feelings towards your bad habits. This is how you diminish the size, diminish the control. You diminish any effect that it may have on you. It can't possibly have any effect anymore because of how small you make it, So to do that, you can also close your eyes and visualize how indifferent you feel. Like just looking at it and be like, mm. And then the third step is attending to your needs. Now, this is the foundational core that everyone needs to address. And this is why it's so important. This final step really ties it all together or wraps it all up. Because when you are able to address to your needs, your emotional needs, this is where all your bad habits stem from. This is a place where all bad habits will relinquish. It will just zap away. It will all disappear if you're able to address to your emotional needs. This is the opportunity for you to finally heal the emotions that you have not handled in the past. And this is also the place where you can expand and reach to your higher power so that you can finally answer to where it is that you need to be. You finally get to become the person that you want to be. You get to answer to your higher calling. So now, every single time I encounter a bad habit, I see it as a sign that I need to give attention to myself, that I need to heal myself, that I need to soothe myself, I need to comfort myself, I need to be there for myself, I need to support myself. And I'm okay with feeling that negative emotion for as long as I'm able to turn the attention back to, okay, so I'm feeling this negative emotion. I'm feeling anxious. I'm feeling contempt. I'm feeling restless. I'm feeling jealousy. I'm feeling, it's just like a really bad feeling. What is it that I really need inside? What is it that I need to see within myself? What is a higher quality that I'm meant to expand into that is calling for me? And then I visualize it. I really make that association so that I can finally allow myself to reach for that feeling, that growth, that expansion. So I'm going to give you an example. If I'm feeling bored, for example, right, then I just pick up my phone and start scrolling. What is it that I need? Oh, maybe I want stimulation. I feel bored. I just want stimulation. I just want to, be stimulated. I just want to feel some emotion. Okay, so deep down, what is it that I need? Well, maybe I need to feel more fulfilled in my life. Maybe I've been feeling a bit empty. And maybe I need, I need some connection. I need people to talk to. I want to feel fulfillment. I want to feel alive. Oh yeah, I want to feel alive. And then you go down that path to finally give yourself the fulfillment that you're looking for, which is showing up as a undesirable feeling in disguise. Another example, which is, you're scrolling on your phone and you're comparing yourself, or maybe you're comparing yourself in general to other people, and you're looking at their life and how amazing that they're living and how much success they have, how much happier they are than you. I ask myself, so what do I need? I need to find my way back to my own worth. I need to reconnect with my own greatness. I need to reconnect with my creativity. I need to realize how worthy I truly am. Oh yeah, that's where it is. So that is how the healing takes place. It's not an opportunity for you to abandon yourself all over again. It's here so that you can finally give the attention back to yourself. Allow yourself to get it. Allow yourself to experience what it is that you're actually reaching for, so that you can finally break the bad habit. Not because you need to break it, but because you are meant to be on your way to become the person that you're meant to be. Right? Otherwise, your bad habit is going to come back and remind you over and over and over again that you're not living the life that you want, and hinting that, hey, you actually want to go in this direction, the more empowered path. Hey, look this way. It's going to keep coming back again and again until you pay attention. This is how you crack bad habits once and for all, and free yourself from all of the restraints that you have put on yourself, that you feel like the bad habits have over you, and step into the more empowered version for yourself. And this is not just about breaking 1 or 2 bad habits. You know, I've made this video because I believe that you are on your way to living your most empowered life, to becoming the person that you were designed to be. It's about finding out who you can truly be without the limitations of these massive blocks that you have in your life right now. My friends, this is your true freedom. So I hope this video inspires you to finally answer to your calling, to answer to your true power. Say yes to who you can be as a person, and then decide to walk that path. So with that said, thank you so much for tuning into this video. And if you enjoy it, please give me some love and subscribe to this channel as well if you want more of this similar kind of content in the future. And with that said, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.